First Ironman. Why am I doing it? I said on the 1st of January that I wanted to test myself to another level. I'm getting a little bit stale in what I was doing with the bodybuilding, the training, and I was looking for new adventure, a new challenge. So the logical thing was an Ironman.
Oh, there you go. Mate, we're in. Fuck.
Game on.
1st of January was it. It was literally, I'm a very spontaneous person. Like, I thought of it and decided to commit to it. It sounded scary, it sounded like a challenge, it sounded quite impossible, so I wanted to do it. Obviously my background is as a full-time athlete with Team GB. I know that world, I know what it takes, the pressure, the strain every single day, training 2-3 times a day, eating over 10,000 calories a day. So this whole world again it feels like home in a way, but this time done much better than ultimately last time.
What part of the triathlon training has challenged you the most mentally so far?
I'll be honest with you, none of it. Not yet. And that might sound cocky or arrogant to say, but this level of volume isn't nothing new. This is normal. But it's going to get harder. It's going to get tougher. At this stage, they're not trying to break me. They're trying to work me in.
Have there been days where you questioned why you were doing this? And if so, what kept you going on those days?
Not yet. And I don't think that will come. I think the biggest thing that I can hold myself to, my biggest skill set, is the thing that's inside my skull. It's not in my character, but the resilience. You know, from a young age, I was recruited for that resilience in my head to go through and suffer more than the guy next to me. So for now, we're fine. It's 2-3 sessions every single day. It's tough, but it's easily manageable for now.
Generally, how do you deal with discomfort, whether that be physically or mentally? How do you approach that?
I relish it. I look to fail every single day. It's the mindset I also teach to our students all over the world, is that you got to fail forward in life, and you can't achieve growth and success without going through the comfort zone and the fear zone as such. That resistance is what creates the growth that we're looking for. So I actually relish that mental and physical challenge because I know our adaptation is on the other side of it. Liberation follows shortly. So that's the mindset I adopt with it. I know that it's a positive thing if I'm finding myself in those positions.
Before the business, before the success, obviously it takes a certain type of person to achieve that, right?
Yeah.
So where did that discipline come from?
If I'm being brutally vulnerable and honest with you right now, which audience deserves, my identity and my behavior comes from trauma, simply being. And I believe that most entrepreneurial, successful men or women, or people who have gone on to do things, have gone through a lot of hardship, a lot of struggle, a lot of suffering, and they've chosen to lean into that resistance and redefine their character and their identity. I think some of the best people go through that. I think for me, the biggest test of trauma I went through was obviously losing my Olympic dream, and that meant everything to me. As a young child, I was scouted because of my age, weight, height, and psyche. I was recruited to join the talent ID system for GB rowing. And shortly after that, I devoted my whole life to it. I was training 3-4 times a day. Nothing else mattered in life. I was willing to do whatever, wake up at 4:30 in the morning, go to bed at 7 o'clock at night, devote everything. And the bad thing I did was I attached my whole identity to a gold medal. And that was the bad thing. But I was young, I was immature, I didn't understand what was going on. I was a student of life at that stage. And obviously being trained into the ground by the organisation, I found myself in a hospital bed for over 2 years, taking 60+ tablets a day, losing my Olympic dream, losing my ambition. And as a young guy, that's tough. Pulled out of university halfway through, no job, no career, just, what are you going to do now, James? Where are you going? And for me, I'm so lucky that happened for me, truly. At the time I thought, why is this happening to me? But I come to realize it happened for you. I wouldn't be where I am today otherwise. I'd be completely somewhere else. But it basically meant in a hospital bed as a young kid, and thinking, you've got to find a way forward. You've got to pivot now. What are you going to do? You're not going to sit here and wallow. Because I was struggling, anxiety, depression, I was letting it define me. as a failure. And that's where I created the first business in a hospital bed in 2015 in Hemel Hempstead, in a hospital called Breakspear Medical. And that's where the origins start.
You obviously started with Peak ID. You grew that into a very successful business.
Yeah.
You then decided to, what was next? So you spent the time building this business. You were helping hundreds of people, thousands, with the fitness.
Yeah.
Why was that not enough?
That's a good question. And people say, well, why do you keep doing this? Why do you keep pushing for more, right? I see it as a sport. You know, a business at the end of the day, eventually it becomes a means of counting. And for me, it's about legacy. But there's a reason why I keep doing what I do and keep showing up. Maybe it's an addiction to ultimately helping people and serving people and creating a legacy, but we'll cover that soon. But Peak ID, JG Physique, it grew quickly and we really captured momentum. And come 2018, 2019, people were recognizing and they were saying like, okay, what's this guy doing? And then we had started a few people, fit pros, approaching us saying, hey, what are you doing? Can you help me? Can you help grow our online health and fitness business? And I said, yes. I was like, yeah, sure, come on in. And that forced me to then go and create the second business, which is called the Fit Pro Accelerator. And that's helped hundreds and hundreds of fit pros worldwide grow and scale their businesses from 5 to 10K and even up to 6-figure months inside their businesses as well. That's the second arm that you see inside that business. Then you've got all the others that have ultimately unraveled and unfolded as those two businesses grew as well.
If someone was watching you on race day, who was the one person you wanted to be?
It's Orange Bull, 100%. For those who don't know, this little thing is why I am the way I am. How I talk, how I behave, how I act, how I lead. This is a little thing that I carry all around the world. It's one of the most powerful things I actually attain and have in my possession. And it gives me so much. So, you know, we were talking about this. When everything ended for me and my GB journey, you know, my whole dream, Olympic dream, I ended up in hospital and rock bottom. You know, my grandma took me in, out of hospital, to her house, and her whole ambition and dream was getting me back into that squad, finding a way to get me back, even though it was impossible. So far gone now. She used to climb the stairs 5-6 times a day to feed me, look after me. An 85-year-old woman devoted her life and sacrificed hers to get my dream back. And at the end of that year, when I was slowly coming back to sort of normality, I could start to actually go outside and walk around. At the time, I couldn't even move my legs. I was completely gone. And she traded herself every single day, climbing. At the end of that year, she also picked up cancer. And the last thing that she ever gave me was this Orange Bull, because she knew I was suffering. She knew I was struggling, anxiety, depression, looking at the same 4 walls every single day. And this little stress ball with a smiley face was the coping thing that she gave me. It was the last thing. And shortly after, unfortunately, she passed away. And a big part of me still today still has that responsibility that was my doing, because she traded herself and sacrificed so much of her that it put her into a position where she couldn't cope anymore. And a lot of people have told me, you're being silly, you know, it's separate and everything else, but you can't help but feel that. And that's why this Orange Bull is what I carry around the whole world. And she taught me sacrifice. Basically, that's what that ball means to me, is being able to show up, give back and fight, and more importantly, carry a legacy to show her it was not for nothing. Her sacrifice wasn't for nothing. And that goes back to your question, Dan. I was like, well, why do you keep showing up? Why? When's enough? And for me, it's about carrying her to show her it was nothing wasted. And we're carrying ultimately her name, her legacy, her love forward, and changing thousands of people's lives in the process. And that's why I'll carry that ball over the finishing line in October. And she'll be with me. And that's why I'm doing this, is because of that. And that's my why. Guys, welcome back to the vlog, Ironman vlog. We're going off now to training. We got our first session today on Sunday, which is a 2K swim in Training Peaks. Dan behind the camera, new project, let's get after it. Hopefully you guys saw the intro in what we did earlier today on my story, a little bit more about why we're doing this, the legacy. Hopefully it gives you a little bit of understanding, but we're now heading off to Maidan to get this session in. And then we've got rehab and conditioning later, but let's get after it, let's go. Okay. Wrong stride. It's a problem. We're going down here. Right. So, for those who are watching this, you've probably seen a load of short form content recently. Swim, the biking in particular. The run, we're waiting on to fix out the knee rehab first. So having 2 physio sessions a week right now, and Michelle also masseuse. There's a lot of tight areas, there's a lot of conditioning I need to go through, but that's work in progress. Basically, stupidly, before I start this triathlon, I just went into running big volumes like 10K, thinking this is a great idea. In reality, I was just making my life even harder. The 2K session though today of swimming is going to be mainly drill work. So it's just more drill work to make sure that I'm getting through the stroke a lot more fluidly. It's more like a recovery swim as opposed to anything UT1. It's even more like UT2 splits, which is that sort of zone 2. But yeah, the paddles are like big sort of mitts that you put on. Is just basically helping you sort of get more resistance through the water. So the paddles, and the pull buoy is essentially like a float you'll put between your legs, and it basically takes the kicking out of the equation. So you're just leaning in with just like the stroke and just focusing on your breathing. You also use like a front snorkel as well. So you don't need to worrying about the breathing. You can just focus about just getting your catches. It's what we call when your hand goes in, it's the catch. Just focusing on clean catches, getting the resistance, and just reach and glide. That's the focus today. So it's Sunday, a bit more of a sort of down day on training, as opposed to anything too heavy. The guys are over at Sabanias Island right now competing and training. So I'm just training alone today with Dan, and that's the plan. Yesterday was a big bike day as well. So obviously we just bought the Plasma Scott TT bike, big investment. And it's not just the bike that you buy or invest, it's everything else that comes with it. So there's a premium bearing, ceramic speed, which is basically helping the gears move, getting more watts for less exertion. Same with the premium bearing, it's just getting more smoothing through the cranks. So ultimately, once again, more watts for less power. Sorry, more watts for less energy exerted. And that's where it's basically trying to make it more aero, more dynamic, and getting this frame onto a bike is a little bit challenging. So they thought the Scott, the Plasma, was going to hold my frame and weight. The guy came, I believe, second, Magnus, at the last World Championship triathlons. He rides a Plasma Scott. He's 6'5". Bit of context: I'm 6'7", 100 kilos, so I'm not 100% the average size for a triathlete, but we're working with what we got, and I'm going to turn it into a strength and an advantage for sure. I just feel with the background I've got with GB, we can really do some damage if we get really fit. Swimming's already flying. I'm confident we can do really, really well with this. The running's going to be interesting, but we're going to make it happen. If you see here now, we are here now at Maidan. This is well fit for everyone watching on the vlog. These are great facilities here, by the way. Great facilities. Let's see if these guys let me in here. Thank you very much, sir. Yeah, so this, now guys, down there is your cycling track. So this is where, in the morning, 5 a.m, I'll be on track down here. And this is the little sort of like cycling shops and everything else. Repairs and everything else. It's a whole community. Hopefully we are all in there. Right, cool. We were not joking about the gingerness, unfortunately, especially when I'm doing open sort of swim out the outdoor pool. That's gonna be key, 100%. So yeah, put it back up, yep. Aim on. See over here is where the pool is, in there. Watch your step. But yeah, this is where people now think, he's got a videographer with him. Is he important? He's not important. He's just documenting. Just wants to swim on camera. That's all a man wants. There you go. Okay, so we are now at Maidan Pool, so we're locking in for 2K swim. It should be a paddleboy and paddle exercise. It's going to be 20 lots of 100 meters with a few interval rests in between those. As you can see behind you, you've got the pool setting and everything else. I'm sure you'll see that in a sec. It's a 25-meter pool. So changing the setting on Garmin, we jumped from Hamden to Maidan, so it's a 50-meter, 25-meter, to get the right data. But yeah, I'm just going to get into it now. See you now.
Paddles, just creating more surface area to get more resistance under the water. You drag so it's not pulling out. You're using this as a catch to lock, and this to straight arm, that pull down. The same with rowing back in the day. On the rowing machine, the rowing machine, great bend your arms. So lock in here and then connect through this. So it's good. Just got to make sure I'm not pushing too much in the session. Just working back off it into an easy swim. Yeah, I'm a little bit carried away at times. But splits are good. I'll do working at like 30 seconds rest. Next 100. Next 100.
Rolling. Right, Jesus, wow, that was a session. God, we were saying it's getting so hot now in Dubai. But yeah, it was a good session. 2K in the locker, 140 splits, which felt quick, it felt good today. So yeah, first session with Dan, the main man behind the camera, capturing some good footage. So we're going to quickly just put this camera down before Dan gets arrested, and myself. Let's go back to now. Plan is recover, get nutrition going. We've got a protein shake in place now, and then we've got nutrition all weighed out ready. So for those of you, most of you know, who have been following our content and businesses for months and years, you'll know Joanne. Joanne is my assistant / chef / maid. She is a godsend. So she basically weighs everything out to the gram, everything laid out from Alex, my nutritionist, and Gerhard. So some days I'll have more carbs, some days I'll have high calorie, low calorie, and everything else. They'll program everything. Joanne cooks it all. I consume it all. And that's the conveyor belt machine that we play. So everything's weighed out, ready to go at home. We just start the recovery process, and then I've got 2 more sessions later on today
One is knee rehabilitation, and then I've got a UT2 run. Fingers crossed, don't get knee pain. That's the play for today, and then we will wait for our schedule later on this afternoon for another manic week ahead, as well as running 9 different companies. So yeah, that is the life. Oh yeah, shit. Vlog number 1. Peace. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you found this interesting, do let us know in the comment section below. Leave a like, subscribe, and if you want to see more Ironman content, let us know. Hopefully you found it interesting. See you in a bit. Gotcha.